ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं चर्षणीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यम् बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम् ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवि चक्षुराततम् ॐ श्लीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। And everyone say Hare Rama Krishna 3 times. Om Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna. Okay, so BPHS, where are we in BPHS? You mean house 9? Okay, very good. House 9. So we finished 9th house. So we are in the career house now. Okay. 178. Right. So we are in chapter 21 in Santanam's version. Effects of the 10th house. Karma bhava phaladhyaya. Karma bhava phalam chatha kathayami tavagratah shruну maitreya tatvena brahma gargadi bhashitam. Karma bhava phalam chatha. Now I am going to tell you the results of the 10th house in front of you. Listen to me, O Maitreya. Tatvena Brahma Gargadi Bhashitam. And this is basically in spirit and in essence, this is what was earlier spoken by Brahma as well as Garga. Brahma means the creator and Garga is one of the great rishis, Maharshis. So what Brahma and Garga earlier communicated, what they converse, that I am going to tell you. So listen carefully to the essence of what I am speaking. Sabale karma bhaveshe svoche swamse swarashige jatastata sukhe nadhyo yashasvisho karma krit. Okay. Sabale karma bhaveshe means if the 10th lord is strong, Svoche Swanse Swarashige, he is either in Svocha means exaltation sign, Swamsha means own Amsha. Is it Navamsha? We don't really know. Could be Navamsha, could be Dashamsha. Swarashige, in own sign. So either in own sign or own Amsha or exaltation sign. Jatas Tata Sukhe Nadhyo. Jatah means the native born like that. Tata Sukhena Adhyo means, Tata means literally father. So Tata Sukha means paternal happiness. So Tata Sukhena Adhyo means he is blessed with paternal happiness. He is blessed with paternal comfort. Yashasvi Shubhakarma Krut. Yashasvi means famous, reputed. Shubhakarma Krut means he performs good actions, good karmas, good deeds. Domi? Yeah, could be born to a big business magnate or could be born to somebody respected. The next verse is Karmadhipo balo naschet Karmadhipo balo naschet Karma vaikalyamadishet Saihi केंद्र त्रिकोणस्थो सैम्हि केंद्र त्रिकोणस्थो ज्योतिष्टोमादियागकृत. Okay. Karmadhipo balonastet means tenth lord is balona. Balona means una means not having. That is why see we have this word ekona vinsati. What does ekona vinsati mean? Vinsati means 20. Ekona vinsati means 19. One less than eka 1. Una means less. Divide by 1. 20 less by 1. That's what ekona vinsati means. Similarly ekona trinsat means 1 less than 30. So una means not having, without. So balona means one who is without strength, basically weak. Karmadhipo balonaschet. The tenth lord should be weak. Then karma vaikalyam adichet. Then you say that the person will have handicapped work. He will be handicapped in his work. His work will have lot of problems. It will not be smooth. It will be with lot of obstacles. And also it may not be well developed. He may not be able to do big work. It will be very small, very undeveloped kind of work. Saimhi. Who is Saimhi? Simhika's son. Simhika is the mother of Rahu. So Simhika's son, Saimhi means. Saimhi kendra trikonastho. Rahu is in either quadrants or trines. Then, so in addition to the previous verse, if tenth lord is weak, it means the person doesn't do big karmas. But in such a case, if Rahu is in a quadrant or trine, then Jyothishtomadi yagakrit. He actually performs Jyotishtoma and other yagas. These are all very big yagas, yajnas. See, for example, the homam that I am teaching, this is all very simple personal kind of activities. Homam is in homam, the level of purity required is low, the rules are very low, and you are mainly doing for your own spiritual benefit. Whereas yagas and yajnas, they are done for the benefit of big groups of people, big organizations, big countries, like that. So there, the rules are very strict. There are certain, not just internal purity, but external purity is also required, because you are not doing the ritual for internal benefit. You are doing it for external as well as internal benefit of large scale. So you need to do it on a large scale, and also the purity maintained should be external on a large scale. And this Jyotishtoma, exactly what it means, there are different opinions on the Jyotishtoma yaga. But the thing is, these homas were performed with specific herbs in the old days. There is a herb called soma. Some people think that soma means wine or something, or some drink, milk. There are so many interpretations, but soma is basically a very special herb that was used in certain homas, certain yajnas. So this is basically, let us say, we don't have to go into details, because you won't anyway find somebody who has done Jyotishtoma, the yagas, etc. The bottom line is, the person will be skilled in rituals, skilled in fire rituals, and authentic and detailed, elaborate Vedic rituals. Okay, so why Rahu? Yeah. Usually we say that is a Manakaraka Sthana, but here Rahu in Kendra and Trikona is considered to be good for certain kind of karmas. What kind of karmas? Ritualistic karmas. So one message here that is very clear is, Rahu is actually an important planet for religious activities. Even though we normally say Rahu is religious, bhoga, and Ketu is moksha, when it comes to this is related to D10. But in general, for example, Rahu in the 10th house. Do you know one of the classical dictums? What is the result attributed to that? Pilgrimages. The person goes on pilgrimages and goes to various temples, etc. He visits various temples. So Rahu is not just a materialistic planet. He also gives great spiritual success. But the difference, Yeah, Rahu and Ketu in general, they are planets of extremes. They can make somebody a crook or also somebody a great saint. But the difference between Rahu and Ketu is, Ketu, I am not saying Ketu wouldn't give rituals, but Ketu is actually appreciating the essence of all knowledge, whereas Rahu is pursuing that knowledge. For example, if somebody is doing this yaga, Jyothishya yaga, or going to a pilgrimage, or doing some homam or yagam or yajnam, he is actually doing some ritual. He is actually using the material plane to progress spiritually. Whereas Ketu shows the understanding, the spiritual understanding. If Ketu is, for example, very strong, and Ketu is right now, his dasha is running or his effect is being given, the person may or may not be doing any rituals. Irrespective of what he is doing, the person has the detachment need required. Whereas Rahu is giving some effort, religious efforts, ritualistic efforts, which are contributing towards increasing your detachment. He shows that effort, that drive towards detachment, but Ketu is the actual giver of the detachment. So they both work as a team, but Rahu is more limited than Ketu. Yeah, okay, that's a very good point. Suppose 10th Lord is strong, does it mean then it's all wasted? No, not necessarily. Parashara uses this kind of constructs before also. What this means is, if he is bad, the work is all disturbed. That is what he said. Now he is saying, if this happens, then he does Jyothishya yaga. Obviously, doing Jyothishya, being a Jyothishya yaga krut is not really a karma vaikalyam. It's not a bad karma. It is actually a very big karma. So he is saying, however, if Rahu is in a Kendra or Trikona, that is not only cancelled, but they can be excellent results. So you should take the second sentence as, however, if this occurs, then this is the result. This is a modifier. Even though 10th Lord is weak, still a strong Rahu, he didn't say strong, but I am just adding strong. A strong Rahu in a quadrant or trine is capable of giving big karmas to the person relating to Rahu matters. Even if the 10th Lord is strong, weak. The next verse is, कर्मेशे शुभ संयुक्ते शुभस्थानगते तथा कर्मेशे शुभ संयुक्ते शुभस्थानगते तथा राजद्वारे च वाणिज्ये सदा लाभोऽन्यथान्यथा तथा लाभोऽन्यथान्यथा what लाभः अन्यथा अन्यथा I see लाभः अन्यथा अन्यथा okay कर्मेशे शुभ संयुक्ते means 10th Lord is conjoined by Shubha means functional benefic planets. 10th Lord is conjoined by functional benefic planets. Saumya means natural benefic. Shubhasthana gate tatha means he is in a benefic house. Like for example, he is not in 6th house. He is maybe in the 9th house, maybe in the 5th house, like that. Okay. Rajadvare cha vanijye sada labhonyatha. Rajadvare means at the door of a king, which basically means in a king's court, not necessarily only at the door. It's basically a idiomatic usage, which means he is patronized by kings. He has good name and fame in the court of a king. Rajadvare cha vanijye. Vanijya means business, commerce. In commerce as well as royal courts, sada always labha means profit. Anyatha means one way or the other, this way or that way. So somehow or the other he is getting profits in business as well as king's court. So basically he is an influential person, he is a good businessman, that's what it means. So what is needed? 10th Lord should be in a good house with good planets. But the thing is, does it only mean somebody who is patronized by kings or somebody who is a businessman? Not necessarily. This is basically an auspicious combination. The person will be successful in karma. Exactly what the success is depends on the planets involved and the houses involved. But the essence of what Parashara is saying is this is an auspicious combination. The next one. Dasame papa samyukte labhe papa samanvite duskrutim labhate martyah Swajananam Vidushakah. Dasame Papa Samyukte means 10th house is having what kind of malefic? Natural or functional malefic? Labhe Papa Samanvite. Dasame Papa Samyukte, Labhe Papa Samanvite. And the 11th house also is with functional malefics. So functional malefics are afflicting 10th and 11th houses. Duskrutim labhate matyaha means he gets bad karma. That means he is not able to do good deeds. He will do evil deeds. Duskrutim labhate matyaha. Swajananam vidushakah means he will make fun of his own people. He will make his own people ashamed. Basically, he will bring shame to his own people, and he will do evil deeds. So, if the 10th and 11th are, why 11th? Why 11th? For me?
From 10th is second, 11th is the...
Yeah. Exactly. 11th has Argala on the 10th house, and also it has 2nd house Argala. And if you take 10th house, the karma of the person as the Lagna, from there 11th is 2nd house. The resources used in the work, and also the impact of the work on the family of the person. 2nd house is the house of family. So 2nd from 10th is basically like family of the person's work. So the 2nd house from 10th will show how the family takes the person's work. So if there are good planets there, the family may be proud of the work that the person is doing. Whereas if there are malefic planets, the family may be disappointed with the work of the person. So for that reason, 10th and 11th being having malefics is not good for either the work or the impression of the family, the impact on the family. Karme chena cha rasisthe Rahuna samyute tatha karme chena cha rasisthe Rahuna samyute tatha janadveshi mahamurkho duskrutim labhate naraha. Karme che nasha rasisthe means 10th lord is in what is nasha? Nasha means destruction. What is the destruction house? 8. So 10th lord is in the 8th house. Rahuna samyute tatha, and he is with Rahu. Janadveshi mahamurkho. Janadveshi means one who hates people. Pardon me? No. Janadveshita means hated by people. Dveshita, ita should be there. Dveshi means he does. He does dvesha. So Janadveshi, how did he translate? It is definitely one who hates people. Yes. The native will hate others. That is the right translation. Janadveshi means one who hates people. Basically doesn't like the company of people. He just hates people. You just show, oh, look at him. He's doing nice work. Ah, that is nothing. He's an idiot. So there are some people, maybe with this combination or not, but you do see some people who want to find fault with everybody, who don't like anybody. They think the whole world sucks. So that kind of attitude is given if the 10th lord is in the 8th house with Rahu. Mahamurkho means, Murkha means fool. Mahamurkha means great fool, big fool. Duskrutim labhate naraha means he will do bad deeds, bad karma, evil deeds. So he will do evil deeds, he will not like people, he will be foolish. So for foolishness and not liking people, Rahu's influence and 8th house influence are important. And 10th house is not just the work that you do, but it is also interacting with other people. We saw earlier, 7th is the house of interacting with other people, but here it is basically indicated that 10th is also important to see how you look at other people. Simply because 10th is how you move in the society, and it has Argala on the 7th house of relationships, the driving force Argala. So the work that you do is the driving force behind your relationships. From 7th, the 4th house of driving force is direction, is 10th. So the work that you do drives what kind of relations you get into. The next verse is verse 7. Karme se juna rasisthe manda bhoma samanvite june se papa samyute. June se papa samyute. No, it should be samyukte. Samyute, I mean, meaning wise no difference, but chandas is broken, so it should be samyukte. Karme se juna rasisthe manda bhoma samanvite june se papa samyukte shishno daraparayana. Okay. Karmeshe Juna Rasisthe means 10th Lord is in Juna means 7. So 10th Lord is in the 7th house of relationships and interact desires. Manda Bhauma Samanvite. Manda means Saturn, Bhauma means Mars. So 10th Lord is 7th associated with Mars or Saturn. Juneshe Papa Samyute, so Papa Samyukte, and the 7th Lord is with functional male fix. Shishnodara Parayanaha means he is selfish, and Shishna literally means the male genital. That is what Shishna means, and Udra means stomach. So somebody who is concerned about only those two things. So somebody who is basically who is always after sexual pleasure, and who is always worried only about his own stomach, his own survival. So this is basically somebody who is very manipulative, somebody who is very selfish and manipulative, and strongly pursuing his own desires. Pardon me? 7th is the house of desire. So if the 10th Lord is in 7th, it's not necessarily a bad combination. That means somebody whose work is driven by a strong desire. Well, the desire could be to establish dharma in the world, to make everybody recite Lalita Sahasrama, to make thousands of people do a particular homam. So a strong desire influencing the karma of a person is not a bad thing. But Saturn and Mars, basically here the lesson is not functional male fix, but natural male fix. This kind of selfishness, this kind of self-drive is given by Saturn and Mars, the natural male fix. And also 7th Lord shows your attitude towards relationships. If that planet who decides your attitude towards relationships, 7th Lord, if he is with functional male fix, that also shows your attitude is bad. Your attitude towards relationships is bad. So those two basically together will confirm this. The next verse. Tungarasim samashritya karmeshe guru samyute bhagyeshe karma rasisthe manaishvarya pratapavan. Tungarasi. Tunga means exaltation. Tungarasim samashritya, occupying exaltation sign. Who? Karmeshe, the 10th Lord. Guru samyute, with the Jupiter. So if 10th Lord is with Jupiter and exalted, obviously is it a good or bad combination? Good. So result is going to be good. The result is, actually it's not over. There is another clause. Bhagyeshe karma rasisthe. Oh my God. 9th Lord is in 10th house. So 9th Lord of Dharma is in 10th house. And 10th Lord is with Jupiter, who is basically the Karaka of 9th house. So there is a strong link between 9th and 10th. So somebody who is very dharmic and does excellent work. Manaishvarya pratapavan. Such a person will be, mana means very honorable, very respected. He is given great respect by people. So mana Aishwarya. Aishwarya means, literally Aishwarya means lordship. Ishvara, Aishwarya. So somebody who is like boss of many people. Basically somebody who is well off. Pratapavan. Pratapa means brave. So somebody who is brave and who does excellent karmas. This is a great combination. This is almost like Dharma Karmadhipati Yoga, even though it's not. Literally, 10th Lord with Jupiter is kind of like being in the 9th house. And also he is in exaltation. Being in exaltation is kind of like being in the 9th house. Because exaltation shows a Purva Punya carried by the planet. And 9th house is the house of Dharma and Punya. So 10th Lord exalted with Jupiter is equivalent to 10th Lord having a link with 9. And 9th Lord in 10. So this is like a Dharma Karmadhipati Yoga basically. This is a very powerful yoga, if anybody has it. Labheshe karma rasisthe karmeshe labha samyute tavu bhau kendra gauvapi sukha jivana bhag bhavet. Okay. If the 11th Lord is in the 10th house, or the 10th Lord is in the 11th house, or Va means are. Tabubhau kendrakau. Or those two are in quadrants. Sukha Jivana Bhag Bhave. Sukha Jivana Bhag means one whose fortune has Sukha Jivanam, means a comfortable life. A very happy, comfortable and peaceful life the person will have. So what is the combination? 10th and 11th lords should have a parivartana. So this is a yoga between 10th and 11th lord. Or at least they should be in mutual quadrants so that they are supporting each other. So the karma of the person is supporting the gains, and the gains of the person is supporting the karma. So he is doing more work, gaining from it, and the gains he is using to do more work. So the cycle basically shows he has nice work to do and he is benefiting from it. So things are going smoothly. So he will have a smooth and happy life. It's a very good combination. On the other hand, if 10th and 11th lords have a bad relationship, it's not so good. Because you are doing good karma, but it's not fructifying. The result that you actually want is not happening. You are putting a lot of effort, but nothing is happening. Or maybe you are getting a lot of results, but you are not able to feed it back to your work and grow your work. So these are the last two upatayas. If you look at the upatayas 3, 6, 10 and 11. So the last two upatayas are very important for the success of a person. Including 9, if you take 9, 10, 11, these are the 3 most crucial houses. That is why in Ashtavarga, if 9, 10, 11, they together have a lot of big scores, he is supposed to be lucky. The person is supposed to be lucky. The next one is Karmeshe Bala Samyukte Meene Guru Samanvite. Karmeshe Bala Samyukte Meene Guru Samanvite Vastra Bharana Saukhyadi Labhate Natra Samsayah. Karmeshe Bala Samyukte means 10th Lord is endowed with strength. Meene Guru Samanvite means Jupiter is in Pisces, very specific combination. Means Jupiter is very strong. Vastrabharana Saukhyadi Labhate Natra Samsayah. Vastrabharana Saukhyadi. Vastra means clothes. Abharana means ornaments. So clothes, ornaments, etc. Sauksha means comfort. So various comforts like nice clothes, nice ornaments, etc. Labhate Natra Samsayah. The person will obtain, there is no doubt. The person will have all those things. So Jupiter is not exalted, one side. Jupiter is in Pisces, he is in one side. And 10th Lord has to be strong. See, literally, if you look at the abharanas, clothes, etc., what is the house for them? It's not the 10th house, right? Pardon me? Normally we say 4th house shows, 4th house shows those things. But the thing is, here the point is, 10th is the 7th from 4th. 4th house is your vehicles, your comforts, your clothes, your ornaments, etc. But being the 7th house from there, it shows the desire of there is a part of you which wants to be well clothed, well ornamentated. So the desire of that part is the 10th house. So always for any house, the 7th from that house is also important to see the house. And moreover, logically speaking, if somebody has good karma, somebody is a big businessman, he is likely to have these things rather than if somebody is a pauper. So that way also 10th house shows the overall fortune of the person, the overall status of the person. So from that point of view also 10th is important. So 10th Lord should be basically strong for somebody to be lucky with respect to these things. Why Jupiter in Meena? Not, pardon me? Yeah, why not Sagittarius? Why Meena? Why is Jupiter materialistic in Sagittarius? I don't get it. It's not materialistic in any place. This is not even Rajas. Both are Sattvic. Kshatriya, that's it. Kshatriya doesn't mean, it's a Kshatriya Rashi. Like I said earlier, Jupiter and Meena is like a happy Brahmin. A Brahmin who is relaxed at his home, he has everything he needs, he is doing his rituals and he is happy. Whereas Jupiter in Sagittarius is like a Brahmin who goes to a king's court and then gives judgments there. Oh, this person, he did this bad thing, adharma, punish him, kill him, or chop his limbs, like that.
Rajarshi.
Well, not necessarily Rajarshi, but Rajpurohit. So Sagittarius is more like Rajpurohit and Meena is more like a Purohit at home. So that is the difference. But why clothes? For clothes and material comforts, of course, Jupiter is in general a planet of fortune, Karaka of 9th house. He is a planet who makes a person very successful and lucky. So his good placement is obviously good. But why is Pisces preferred over Sagittarius? So here the lesson is not just Jupiter being in Pisces. In general, strength of Pisces is also important for seeing how well endowed the person is. Why? What is special about Pisces? Okay, it's watery sign, so comfort, overall emotional comfort and peace is determined by it. Who is the karaka for these things? Clothes, ornaments, etc. Venus. Venus gets exalted in Pisces, exactly. So because Venus is exalted in Pisces, the strength of Pisces is important. In this combination, suppose it wasn't Jupiter who was in Meena. Suppose Venus himself was in Meena, or maybe Moon was in Meena. Moon, when I say Moon in Meena, let's say he is a strong moon, like he is, let's say, Dasmi moon, Shukla Dasmi moon, he is in Meena. Would that still be good enough? Perhaps. This is just a guideline, Jupiter in Meena. Perhaps this exalted Venus is there, that also shows being well endowed with clothes and ornaments, etc. Okay. And also another interesting factor is Meena is also the 12th house of the natural zodiac of expenses. So it shows, it controls what kind of expenses you make. So if Meena is strong with some benefic planet which shows you having lot of nice clothes or nice ornaments, etc. If Meena shows that, then you basically spend a lot of money on that because it's the natural 12th house. Okay. It doesn't necessarily, by the way, show attachment to your clothes. If 12th house, if Meena is having exalted Venus or Moon or strong Moon or Jupiter, it only means you are spending on these comforts, you are spending on Venusian matters, you are acquiring nice things. It doesn't mean you are attached to it. It doesn't mean you are a materialistic person. You just have those. You just spend a lot of money. For example, Narayan Iyer, who used to be here, a Jyotish Guru here, I know him personally. He spends so much money on nice clothes, nice shoes. He has so many things, but he doesn't give a care. He lives in somebody's house. He takes many suitcases of clothes. He just leaves there and says, I don't want them. What do we do if you say? He says, no, I don't want it. Whatever you do, give it to Salvation Army. Those are like $100 shirts which he never wore. He just leaves it there and say, oh, somebody use it or give it to Salvation Army, and he goes away. So he has, if you see, pardon me? Yeah, 10th Lord his 10th Lord is not really strong, but he is in Lagna, he has Dharma Karmadipati Yoga, he has Nichabhanga Raj Yoga, and if you take the Parivartana, it's as though he is in one house, and he has exalted Venus in Meena, aspected by Jupiter. So anyway, the next verse is Labhasthana gate surye Rahu bhauma samanvite Ravi putrena samyukte karmachhetta bhavennarah. Labhasthana gate surye means Sun is in Labhasthana, the 11th house. Rahu bhauma samanvite, my God, what a combination. Mars and Rahu, with Mars and Rahu he is. So Sun, Mars and Rahu are in 11th house. Ravi putrena samyukte. What? With Saturn. So too many planets. This is a big combination. It's a rare combination. So Sun with Mars, Saturn, Rahu in the 11th house. Karma chhetta bhavennarah means, chhetta means one who cuts off. Karma means work. Karma chhetta literally means one who cuts off work. Swami? It could either mean who doesn't work, or it could mean somebody who starts some work and without achieving it just leaves the work in the middle. So, how does he translate? Yeah, he will not be successful. Yeah, that's what he means. Basically, the 11th house of gains, fructification of your desire, is not there because of all these things going on. There are no gains. There is no fruits of the fructification. He may start a big company. He may raise a lot of money, but when it is time to actually make money back, he just he just falls up and then goes. So nothing. He doesn't get anything in return. He is doing a lot of things, but he doesn't get anything in return. That is basically what this combination means. He is not a finisher, basically. He plays a very good cricket match, but in the last ball he gives a sixer and loses the match. Like Jyothishya. The next verse is Meene Jive Bhrugujute Lagne Se Balasamjute Meene Jive Bhrugujute. My God. Lagne Se Balasamjute Swachya Rashigate Chandre Samyak Jnanathavan Bhavet. Meene Jive Bhrugujute. In Pisces is Jupiter along with Venus. Lagne se bala samjute. Lagna Lord is strong. Sochya Rashi Gate Chandre, and Moon is in Taurus. Moon is exalted. Samjak Jnanarthavan Bhavet. Then the person will be Samjak Jnana Arthavan. Jnana means knowledge. Artha means wealth. So Jnanarthavan. He has wealth and he has knowledge. He is very learned and also recognized. Narayan has this, except that Jupiter is not there. He has Pisces move, Venus, exalted Venus in Pisces, aspected by Jupiter. In a trine from Jupiter. Jupiter is in Scorpio. And Moon is exalted. And Lagna Lord is exalted. He is strong. Lagna se Balasamjite.
In his D10?
No, in Rashi. In Rashi. So he is, we should tell him, I think you are knowledgeable and you are wealthy.
Well, that's why you can buy the shirt. Expensive clothes.
No, I am pretty sure he won't have time for that. Karme Shela Bhara. So you can say whatever you want to say about him. But somebody who listens may tell him. That is another issue. Somebody may report to him, hey, your name is popped up. कर्मे से लाभ राशिस्थे लाभे से लग्न संस्थिते कर्मे से लाभ राशिस्थे लाभे से लग्न संस्थिते कर्म राशिस्थिते शुक्रे रत्नवान सनरो भवेत् कर्मे से लाभ राशिस्थे 10th lord in the 11th house लाभे से लग्न संस्थिते and the 11th lord is not in 10th but in lagna. So 10th lord in 11th and 11th lord in lagna. Karma Rashi Sthite Shukre, and the 10th house contains Venus. Ratnavan Sanaro Bhave. The person has lot of gems, not necessarily diamond. Ratna means gems. Could be rubies, could be emerald. Basically, he possesses lot of gems. So 10th lord in 11th, which means 10th is the house of your karma. So the Lord going to 11th meaning he is told to give you fructification of your desire. So his work gets finished. He finishes his work. And Labhe se Lagna Samshrita, the 11th Lord who is supposed to give you gains goes into Lagna. So that means the gains that he makes are used for his own being, like his wealth or his health or just to endow himself. Karma Rashi Sthite Shukre, and Shukra is in the 10th house. Then the person will have gems. Why? Why all this? First of all, why Venus in the 10th house is important? He is aspecting the 4th house. 4th house is all these properties of you. not just house and car, but also all the gems that you own, all the clothes, all the jewelry, ornaments you own, all that is fourth house. So Venus is aspecting that. Venus is aspecting that. Basically, Venus is in the house of desire from it. So the house of desire from those things has Venus, who is the karaka for those things. So it shows somebody who has a strong desire and may even have lot of these belongings. Not necessarily gems, could be cars, could be a lot of luxury items. Yeah, he can work for them also. Now, why 11th Lord in Lagna? Why 11th Lord in Lagna? Well, if 11th Lord in Lagna, gains are used to enrich the person, enrich the self of the person. To make the person, this may not be somebody who has a lot of gems in a jewelry shop and he owns the jewelry shop. This is somebody who is wearing a lot of gems on him, for example. He may be wearing several rings or several jewelry like Bhakti Lahari, for example. He is filled with, his weight will be double his actually naked weight. He has so much gold on his body. I was seeing him in Saregama Park and some music program some time back. He has so much gold, so many rings, so many chains. So he is using it to enrich himself, and apart from it, where is A11? And where is A10? Pardon? Yeah, A11 is in third house and A10? 12th house. So first of all, A10 and A11 are visual quadrants. The tangible work of the person, the tangible accomplishments of the person, and the tangible gains of the person are visual quadrants, which is auspicious. Right? So just like 10th Lord and 11th Lord having Parivartana, we mentioned earlier, 10th Lord in 11th and 11th Lord in Lagna is also a kind of Rajoga between them. It's like earlier we said 10th Lord and 11th Lord in mutual kendras. Remember? Either exchange or mutual kendras. This is also kind of like that. So Arudhas being in principal quadrant is also good. So that is first lesson here, the hidden lesson. The other thing is, now if you look at the two Arudhas, A10 is in 12th from Lagna. 12th is the house of gain. 12th is the house of, I think I am missing Seshu. 12th is the house of losses. So A10 being there, the accomplishments of the person being in the 12th house, meaning he may accomplish something, and also he may actually spend a lot of things that he gets by accomplishing. Moreover, 11, more importantly, the Arudha of the gains, the Labhavada, that being in the third house, the gains that he is making, the tangible gains he is making, may be actually used to spend on fourth house matters. The third house is expenses on fourth house matters, right? So somebody will spend big time on a car or some luxury shown by the fourth, or nice clothes or nice jewelry, if third house is strong. So A11 being there, that too in a quadrant from A10. So the person is actually making lot of money, getting lot of gains from the work that he is doing, and he is spending it on fourth house matters. So that also is conducive to spending on luxuries. And Venus being in being in 7th from 4th is again conducive to it. So both together confirm that the person may actually licentiously spend on his luxuries, his or her luxuries. Okay. What we will do is, I think we will stop here. We will do example now. This is almost halfway point. We finished 13 verses. So tomorrow we will start with 14. Not tomorrow, next week. So this is whose book is it? Yours? Sorry. Too much force. Now we will turn this on. Now we will turn off the recording. So our apologies to those who are listening to the audio. We are discussing a chart on the person requested anonymity. So this will not be available on the audio. So we are turning it off.